I'm going to butcher this name, but I'll try to say it anyway. Dasher or Dasher? I'm going to go with Dasher. Sounds less pretentious. Dasher Keltner is a psychology professor at the University of California, Berkeley, and he is not as surprised as everybody else that about 6 billionaires recently made analogies comparing themselves to Jews in Nazi Germany. Of course, the progressives are the Nazis in that analogy. Yeah, we're very fond of Hitler and Goebbels. Yeah, we're big fans here at Secular Talk. So he says that his research shows that large gobs of money often make people drift away from reality. Quote, extreme wealth in our lab makes people less compassionate. They care less about the suffering of others. They're less empathetic. They tend to think that they have their tons of money because they have a stronger genetic profile. You put that together, and you get jackasses. Remember, those are not my words. Those are his words, which is hilarious, a researcher being totally honest like that. So being rich rewires your brain and your environment in such a way that it's easy to feel entitled to your money and harder to understand why other people don't have it. So I actually looked back as I was reading this article in the YouTube archives on Secular Talk, and I found that we discussed another study which basically said the exact same thing from about 8 months ago. So this is at least the second study confirming this, and that's just the ones that I've seen personally. I'm sure there's others that I've missed. Quote, billionaires' extreme wealth allows them to be psychologically insulated from the realities of being poor. They couldn't even imagine what it would be like to earn $35,000 and worry about things like paying bills or taking a long ride on public transportation to work or to pick up your kids. You go from country club to limousine to charity event in your tux. That circumstance allows for no window into other parts of society. This combination of psychological and social isolation adds up in many cases to make rich people believe more in the genetic basis of class categories. Now, they also say that they typically surround themselves with yes men, people that don't challenge them whatsoever, and this also feeds into their superiority model, that they're somehow better than everybody else. And to me, what it also comes back to is this idea of rationalization. So to justify your incredible wealth, you say, well, it was meant to be like this because by my nature, I'm so great. I'm so innately more talented than everybody else, and that's why I have these things. It helps me sleep at night to pawn off my responsibility for being a douche, is basically what's going on here. And look, man, I know a lot of progressives and liberals, because they're so open-minded, they try to avoid harsh conclusions like this. But it's the research. It's not really just us. It's not just me giving my opinion on a talk show. It's the research that I'm presenting to you from the specialists, from the psychologists, from the other people who have looked into it. And it's not surprising. It's not surprising. We all know how, ironically, it's these rich guys who, for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, they feel more entitled than a poor person. And the Republican stereotype is the exact opposite. They act like poor people and minorities and old people, these moochers off the system who take money to survive and, eat through food stamps. Yeah, those guys are the moochers. But Wall Street, who bankrupted their own companies through their own horrible decisions and then took a giant bailout of our money? No, they earned it. They deserve it. They still need the, $1,000 suits. They still need to eat at the finest restaurants. They still need to have a place in Belize. They still need a mansion and a Maserati and a Rolls Royce. So, again, what's the conclusion here? These guys wrongly believe that they're superior to you, by nature, biologically superior to you, and they're also pricks. They also feel entitled.